parts of the box to start. Sure. So we're gonna take this top off. This is the heavy part. I'm gonna take that off.
Thunk on the table.
And show you this. So this is a thing that I run into with every single game that I own. Let's just go to an FFG title. Yeah. Journeys in Middle-earth. I have the core, I've got Shadows expansion, and I have them in 2 boxes and 2 tackle boxes for all my minis and my tokens and everything, because I can't fit everything back into the box. This game, as we showed in the last stream and as people are aware, has 3D terrain. That 3D terrain is going to go so beautifully here. So I can maybe have 1 box to store them all.
Well, I will say, not maybe. You will have 1
yes,
box.
Yes. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of addicted to, I think, my tackle boxes. I have a bit of a problem. Well, but I know that I can do it.
Yes.
I can do it.
The tackle box is a personal problem.
Yes, that is very true. So, yes, I am actually very excited about this. This is the one reason that the box might feel a little bit lighter than you would expect it to be, but that's because we planned ahead and made sure that you had storage for everything. So now...
You're going to appreciate it once you put all that terrain together.
Oh my gosh, yes.
1,000-year stare.
Yes. So, now... Let's get into the box. You know what? I'm not going to open that.
All right. Well, you know what? I have opened a previous copy.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
What?
Spoilers.
Oh,
but she has not. Truly.
I have never seen the game in its complete, I have never seen a completed production copy of the game, and so I'm thrilled right now.
Neither have I.
Oh.
All right, so we've got our learn to play, we've got our lore, and we've got beautiful art on them.
All the instructions.
And then one of the things, we don't need that. Luckily, we have a device, but you guys will definitely need that for putting your terrain together and whatnot. So, when it comes to exciting things out of the box, I should have asked this question before opening it. Nathan, you and I talked about this a little bit yesterday. What's one of the things you're most excited for about what's in the box?
An additional storage
Don't look.
solution.
Don't look. You don't even know.
That we've added to this is for the minis. So we do have the vac trays for all of the minis. So now both the tray and your minis will have an opportunity to really be protected and stored all together in one box, right? And so, yes, I think this is from the previous stream that we did to this one. This is something new that you're able to see for the first time that we are excited about. Hopefully, you are excited about. So yeah, upgrades.
Cool. And then before we get too far in, Kara, I know you talked about it in the last stream as one thing you were excited about, but what are you super excited to see in the box?
I'm a dice gremlin,
okay.
So I'm really excited to see the dice.
Yeah, I was too. I might have gotten a sneak peek at some of the things, and dice might have been one of the things I toyed around with a little bit earlier today, but go ahead and, keep digging in, see what we have access to.
This top layer is a bunch of enemy stuff.
Yep, so we've got enemies in vac trays, we've got more enemies and heroes on the bottom side of this vac tray, which is nice because they stack, they save so much space, and I don't need a tackle box.
Is it not?
This is a murder weapon.
9 or 11, I forget how many sheets we got going. It's significant.
It's a chunk.
No, 12, 13, 14 maybe? It's more than I remembered apparently. Yeah.
This is the weird thing I was also really excited about. There are card sleeves for your weapon cards. Sorry,
I think it's great.
I just got excited because I saw them.
I think it's great that, yes, it does come with sleeves. So you don't have to go out and buy sleeves for your weapon cards. You just get them in the box.
Yep. And to clarify, you'll notice that this is not hundreds of sleeves. This is enough sleeves, and a few more actually, to do for your attack card, which I don't know if we'll get to today exactly what that is again, but it's for a specific component, and it just helps with the layout of the game quite a bit to have that available.
I got excited.
So before we get digging too much farther in, I'm going to task you with that.
All right.
Let's show off some of the miniatures, because the last ones that we had were not our final versions, right, Kara?
Yeah.
They were 3D printed, I believe.
They were 3D
Yep.
printed.
So let's show off some of the beauty. And this is a hard plastic, very hard plastic.
Holds a lot more detail.
Very, very detailed, and absolutely incredible. So Which one should we show off first?
Oh, wait. I'll pick the golem. The golem,
golem?
first. I love the golem.
All right. So we're going to go and take a peek at this golem. Are we ready on that camera? I think we got it, maybe? I'm not watching the stream, so... So I don't know if you can tell all of the detail in there, but just like, even as I turn this, looking at the back of the shield is just absolutely insane. All the amount of detail that's in there. The cracks in the armor, like, everything about this is absolutely ridiculous. And just very, very fine, incredible detail.
I just love the detail of the gap between the lower leg and the upper leg.
Right, I wasn't going to call that out because I hadn't seen it before, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. His leg is broken. I know how that feels. So, yeah, so that's one. Honestly, I think that this one is absolutely insane. This is not a white. What is this mini?
Oh,
Spectre.
Spectre.
We both had a moment of like, this is something we should know.
Welcome to being a game designer where you name things 8 million times.
That's
right.
So you
That
don't
one did
remember the final name.
That one did get a number of renames, so that one was difficult, yeah.
So this one is another one that I think is absolutely gorgeous just because of all of the dead space that we have inside the mini itself. So you've got these like layers, which for painting, I hate you. But when it comes to the detail and how gorgeous it looks, and knowing how much I actually paint, it'll be fine because I won't bother painting it. But I don't paint. I've tried, but I'm just not good enough at it, and I'm not willing to spend the time.
I'm not good at it, but it does not stop me.
Okay, that's fair. I've tried it with some of our other games and just have done like 3 minis and called it. So I choose the easy ones. This is not one I would choose initially. But yeah, just looking at everything, I mean, just all the fine detail around everywhere that I don't know if you can really tell from the camera, but just those like layers of depth, it's so cool and something that I feel like we haven't been able to do with many of our other games. Like not knocking them in any way, shape, or form. I think we have some beautiful minis in our other games, but this is just a step above.
Where's the, could you just look at the Bandit real quick? That one's my favorite. Could you pull that one and show it off? I really like the motion in this one. That was one of the, I think it was one of the first ones that was completed that we were able to see, and that was a really cool moment of, up till then you have praxis or little pieces of cardboard.
Right.
Yeah.
And you see that and you're like, oh, we're making a really cool game.
Little piece of cardboard.
I love
says
the
Bandit
dynamic
on it.
Yeah, right. And then this guy's ready for you whenever you want to.
Oh yeah. Well, he needs to be last. Let's
Okay.
keep him hiding as much as we can.
Makes sense.
Bandit just has an excellent sense of motion, and I mean, we go back to the detail a lot, right? But that's what this hard plastic has really given us, which is you can see each one of its little arrows, each one of its little knives, like. Yeah, it's just this is one of the very first figures I saw like completed, and it blew me away.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Is that enough for villains? I mean, we've got one more, but I think that one should be saved for last.
The very, very last.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about heroes.
Sure.
So we start the game with only 4 of the heroes.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with those 4 heroes.
Let's get Bryn.
All right.
Bryn has a. Can I say this? Sure. All right.
I'm sure that didn't
Spoilers.
alarm anyone in marketing at all.
I guess plug your ears for the next 30 seconds if you want absolutely zero spoilers. Bryn is a special character in that, oh man, I don't know. Can I say anything? Is this wrong?
You know what? We're marketing. Say it.
Okay, she's a very special character because we're going to follow each of their stories, and they're all intertwined, and they have their own stories they're going on. But she's returning home to her barony as part of the nobility there. And so she has a very core part, I guess, of what's affecting the barony is affecting her. And so I think her story is especially highlighted and I don't know, especially interesting to the whole
Yeah, every
campaign.
hero has a personal story, but Bryn's personal stakes are immediately evident, whereas some heroes kind of get hooked in more later, which...
Right.
So this is why I've chosen
interesting.
Brain as our first to look at.
Makes sense. And since you mentioned, things you're not supposed to talk about.
Okay,
here,
cool.
I suppose I can tell everybody that we will have an article up next week that is all about the heroes.
Okay.
So letting you know a little bit more details about their history and whatnot. So yeah, looking at Bryn's miniature here, also incredible detail, like just the tiling on the base, everything is spectacular. She looks incredible. She looks like a tank. And
Oh, good.
I love playing the tank, so I know who I'm going to fight everybody for to play. So, yep, we've got Bryn, and then we also start off with...
Let's go Cyrus.
Okay.
He's our other human in the group.
So, Cyrus is ridiculous.
Yeah, maybe I should have finished with him before. But
Yeah, well, I mean, we showed Cyrus on the last stream, but again, not the final version. So, I mean, being able to see all of the detail with, I'm going to mess up the name, Indris. Yes. With Indris, his phoenix is just incredible. And again, going back to painting, that fire for people who are talented is going to look spectacular.
What I'm excited about with the fire is I don't have to be very talented to make it look good. That's what dry brushing is for. And
Oh,
washes,
sure.
done.
Dry brushing, washes, maybe even some
look so
shader
good.
paints, and
Yeah.
just call it a day. So yeah, I mean, he looks great. Indris is where it's at, in my opinion, though. With this mini, it makes Cyrus just so much cooler.
Sure. Yep.
All right, and then moving on,
There's Galadin.
we've got Galadin. Galadin, we're going to learn a little bit about Galadin in the app today, and then obviously more with that article next week. But Galadin, clearly more the ranger, archer, hunter style.
Point to
And
point.
again, just like that bandit, like you can see the individual feathers basically in the quiver, and it's so cool. So well done. And just, I love these minis. I could talk about them all day, but I know people don't want me to do that.
And you have Varix.
All right.
If you want to compare Varix too, you can see there's.
Oh,
you
yeah,
can tell
yeah,
otherwise
definitely.
There's a bit of a size difference. But I think
Size
it's cool.
difference. And Varix is squatting down pretty
Yeah.
heavily too. So Varix is huge,
They're a big,
but
big friend.
Varix is like part dragon, so
Dragon hybrid.
makes sense. So yeah, looking at Varix too, super cool, super detailed. Love the tail coming around the little crystals, rocks, whatever those things are. Just looks amazing. So there was a question in our chat, something we should bring up right now, and we'll keep Varix out for that. And let's go back to the Bandit. So Varix has this thing with his base where it's complete, just like any other miniature or game that we have. But the villains are broken. Why are we giving our players broken bases?
They're not broken. They're functional.
Okay, okay.
Sorry, did you want to... I'm going to jump in?
Go for it.
I'm in it
Yeah.
then.
I'll pull out some things to demo.
Yeah. So
More
when
unboxing, yes.
monsters are spawned, you need a way to distinguish them from each other.
Wait, so you mean there could be two bandit groups?
Yeah, so for example, there could be multiple bandits on the map, and you'll need to be able to tell which ones are which. To do that, we have these colored chips. Helps if I don't try and put them in sideways.
I think the spiky bits goes up front, right? Oh, wait, yeah.
Well, what
Yeah,
it
'cause
is
there's
that
one, two,
there's the
three.
different
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
the different pips.
See? Haven't looked at these yet.
So what it is that there's different pips, so that if you are colorblind or have trouble telling apart the colors, you can go by the 1 pip, 2 pip, 3 pip, or 4 pip instead. Oh, there's a big camera, huh? I could have been using instead of just showing you and not the people watching us.
We're really trying to sell the game here.
And
You don't have to sell the game,
Yeah,
though.
you seem pretty excited.
You do not have to sell me the game, I
Get
promise
one
you
in.
that. So yeah, that green one is in. So that is a 2-pip bandit. And over here, we've got a 3-pip bandit. And again, the pips are more important for people who are colorblind.
Correct.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's the orange and the green bandit.
Correct. Yep. And we did select the colors too. These are the foremost distinguishable colors for colorblind people. But if it's still a problem, then you can go to the pips. So we
Okay.
really try to be as mindful as we could. But yeah, you'll see that so now each of these will be colored, and then in the app, there's whenever you see an enemy on the screen, there'll also be those colors, so that way you can tell which enemy in the app is which enemy on the board at a glance.
Okay.
So that was our system, and we're pretty happy with it. We went through a lot of different iterations again and try to figure out what's best for the user, but we're excited about this one.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think it's really cool. It's again, going back to other games that I play from FFG, like you got flags that you can put next to things that are another thing on the board. This is just part of what already exists, so it's not going to get as cluttered, which I think is spectacular. And I know you took out the other heroes, but we're not going to talk about them today.
Oh, all right.
We're going to save them. I think we need to hold on to them.
Let's see if I can get them all back in the place they came. I think so.
Yeah, you get to play the mini game.
I think I did it.
Back in the
I'm
back,
proud of
right?
myself.
It's like a puzzle. Very, very easy puzzle, but a puzzle nevertheless.
2 games.
So now, we move on to the big guy.
Okay.
And you know what? Just for funsies, I'm going to put 2 different colors in them just to confuse everybody.
That's not.
Nope, it's
You're
happening.
going off the rails.
It's happening.
Not part of the game. This is
I
not
am
part of the
what
game.
you
doesn't
would
happen in
say,
game.
I am out of control. Because I do what I want. So, I know, again, we had this last time. Nowhere near the amount of detail last time, though. This miniature, I believe, have we had somebody paint this for marketing yet?
Not that I'm aware of.
That one didn't happen yet? Okay, never mind.
Nothing
never mind.
happened.
Might not
No
be a
one-
thing at all.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Forget it.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I have seen other versions of this, but that's for another thing later. So, my apologies. Spoilers. So, yeah, again, like, this is by far the largest mini that we have. It is absolutely insane. And I do not want to ever see it on the board when I'm playing the game, because it will probably murder me. Murder me at least once. And then maybe my hero as well. But me, absolutely. And this one, I'm going to give back to you, because there is some assembly required for that. So, if you want to use the vac tray, don't super glue or plastic glue. That won't work for you well in the end. So yeah, we've got heroes. We've got enemies. We've got some massive enemies, some multi-spawning evil terrors of the night, but we've also got a lot more in this box. So let's start looking at what more we have in the box. Kara, I'm going to hand you this bag of very, very special things that you love, as the, did you say it, gremlin?
Yeah, Dice Gremlin.
Yep, dice gremlin.
I
Okay.
embrace it.
So these dice, I think it was mentioned in the previous stream, are very unique based on the character that you're using,
Yes.
the hero that you're using, correct?
Yes.
So remind us again how that's going to work, because as you can see, there are very distinct side numbers and symbols and things on these dice. So remind us what dice do what and why we decided to do, I mean, why aren't they all D8s?
Yeah. Do you wanna? Can I use a aid? Thank you. So. Here.
Yeah.
Haha. Oh wait, I want a better example. Someone who uses different dice for different things. So, each of our heroes will have an attack die and a defense die, and those are different dice. Our different dice not only have different odds, but they have different mechanical identities. So we have our D6, which is a pretty straightforward die. It's all about getting successes. We have our D8, which is about getting advantages, which is a symbol in the game that, at default, they are potential successes, but they don't do anything on their own. You can take fatigue to turn them into successes. So there's also a bunch of other things that can interact with advantage symbols. So they're kind of a realm of possibility. And then we have surges, which are all sorts of cool things. They're kind of a wild card symbol, depending on what hero you're playing. And so each of our heroes specializes in different dice, and sometimes for different things. So we can see that Varix rolls the blue D12, which specializes in surges for their attack. But for their defense, they're rolling the advantage symbol dice most often. Whereas someone like Bryn, our tank, who's also straightforward in personality, rolls our most straightforward success die for both her attack and defense.
Okay.
So we've really pushed these dice into different mechanical identities, which allows us to push our heroes into different functional identities as well. Was that too
No,
niche? Did
that
I
is
get
great.
too nerdy in that?
No, and I think this is something you championed in the project. So I think you're great to talk. And I think looking at Cyrus and Chance as well, where you'll see, I don't know if you can see it from that far. So Chance has 2 blues, so very heavily on that surge. And we tried to really tie those the dice we chose for the characters to how that character is not only supposed to feel mechanically, but also part of their story, the feel of the character fictionally as well. So Chance is he's the rogue type, and I don't even say his luck and his perception of luck is actually tied into his story. And so we wanted him to feel swingy and hit or miss and kind of going for those big hits, things like that. And you'll see lastly Cyrus, 2 orange dice, which means lots of advantage, which means he's spending lots of fatigue, but then the rest of his kit is playing with that fatigue and actually utilizing it, or has good ways of getting rid of it and things like that. So we really mechanically, even just the dice that we chose for the heroes is really giving them each distinct play, let alone, of course, the different abilities and everything.
Cool. And yeah, there's more that affect the dice too, right? Like you just said something about abilities.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And weapons using surges and fatigue and things like that. Like that will all come into play among every card you have in front of you, correct?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah. So it's really cool because they are deep. Like, I mean, I'm used to playing games that have a single kind of die that do a single thing, and you just maybe roll more or fewer than, other cards in the game. So this is something I'm super excited about and interested to see how it all pans out with more playing. Not that I have been able to play this game at all, but with more playing. Yes.
I also just like that we get a whole fistful of dice, and I did want to just talk about that because I love that we have dice for everyone.
Yes.
Well,
I mean, because each character rolls how many die at a time?
Depends on how leveled up you are.
Okay.
At the start, it's 1. During tests, you'll be rolling 2, but then you're getting cards and such that are going to be adding to that number.
Got it. So I mean, if I've got Cyrus out in front of me, I only need 1.
Yep, that's your attack.
To start the game.
Yep.
And there are 4. So I think we've got plenty.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah, especially because like Bryn doesn't
game.
use them at all, right? So Bryn would not need it.
Bryn just needs the single black die.
Yep, plenty of dice.
Very cool. All right, and then, I mean, we definitely have to talk. No, we don't have to talk about these? Okay, let's not talk about those. I apologize, everyone. All right, so we've got dice. We've got minis. We've got character cards. We've got colored base tags so that we see what's going on. What else we got in the box? Nathan, what do you want to talk about next?
You know what? I'm just going to go here, which maybe is probably not the logical place to start.
No, go for it.
So at the start of the game, start of the game, you have your sheet and you have your weapons. That's right. I'm not wrong.
In the intro, that's all you have.
You have some tokens and such that you grab, but otherwise, that's kind of your character. And then as you play, we start introducing, of course, new things that you can bring to quests with your hero. So I don't know the best way to do this, but I'm just going to divide these up real quick. I guess it's like this. So we have the consumable stack there, and the armor stack here.
Consumable in this? Nathan knows what it is.
I'm sorry?
My favorite consumable.
It's been so long. I could.
Oh, you know what it is.
Oh, yes, I do. It's also my favorite.
This is the designer's favorite consumable.
Yeah.
Rogue Sweat.
I named that one.
It is Chef's Kiss. It's a very useful card. But 2, it's called Rogue Sweat. And Nathan, can I just say, great
But
name.
why is it called Rogue Sweat?
So, I mean, because it's awesome. That's the real reason.
Okay,
but,
fair.
You'll see that second line. I don't know if everybody can see, but the second line there is Chance or Kaylee. When that's telling you, spoilers, I guess. There's the 2 characters we didn't look at. If you're paying close attention. Some consumables are limited, which you can see on the bottom there, which means only certain heroes can use those consumables. So this one is for them, and both of those characters have more of a
roguey vibe.
nefarious, more. Anyway, it works for them.
A sweat collector.
Yes, they're both very sweaty characters.
They wear sweatbands.
Okay. Just bring them out. Yeah.
Oh,
I see how that works.
Yeah.
I like that.
There's 2 others. If you pull Mage Dust and Warrior's Breath, those are like the two kind of equivalent. So those 3 cards cover all 6 characters. There's also 3 other limited cards, but those have the kind of the different feels, just giving you, defining the characters a little bit and what each limited potion they can use is.
All right.
So
and
that's
the
what
Mage
those
Dust
are.
is for Cyrus and for Varix.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
They both have more of a. Sorry.
No, they both have more of a magical feel.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Oh.
Perfect.
Great. And then the last one is the Warrior's Breath, which keeping sweat and somebody's stanky breath in a vial.
Maybe they had a breath mint right before they breathed out.
Okay, that's.
Minty.
I guess that's better than the sweat. Either way.
Refreshing.
Either
But
way.
You're assuming that the mage dust is like something magical, but you don't know what that dust is.
Of course, I'm
right?
going to assume
Look
that.
at the other two.
two.
You're making some assumptions there.
I'm leaving.
I really like bringing in the fantastical and the strange into a fantasy type game, and so that's really like doing things like this. I think really has it makes it feel otherworldly, right? And that's what we're looking for in a fantasy game when we play a fantasy game. So
Right.
that's,
Absolutely.
That's why I did something like Rogue
Oh,
Sweat.
yeah.
Sorry, anybody that's super grossed out. Hope you
Rogue
still get
Sweat
the game.
and Nasty Breath.
Yes.
So these, I mean, we've called these 3 out. These are for specific characters. But there are other items that are going to be used by anybody, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, okay, Vigor Potion. So we've got things that anybody can use. So I'm just gonna ask the question. Before starting a mission, is this when you get to select what items you're bringing? And obviously some people can take anything. Obviously other things are going to be limited. And let's just say, we're playing Varix and Cyrus. We're going to be kind of maybe fighting over some perfectly normal mage dust. The perfectly normal of those 3 items. It's just dust that a mage uses.
There are only 2 copies of the limited potions, 1 for each hero, and you can only take the same potion once.
So you don't have to
Okay.
fight.
So you won't have to fight.
Not over
Okay,
that.
good.
Yeah, sorry, not over
There's
that.
other
at
things you can
least.
fight over.
Okay, I mean, that's fair. Because my gaming group, there will be fighting one way or the other. Got it. Okay, so you can both have the thing.
Yep, like the Vigor Potion, there are 4 copies of it because each of the 4 players can take one.
Got it. Makes perfect
Now
sense.
you can fight over other things, which we can get to.
Yeah, and then the final potion type, if we wanted to, is
Round it out.
rare. I actually don't remember the word we used. What's the bottom?
Unique!
Unique. So unique potions you cannot craft and you cannot bring with you at the start. You can only find them while playing.
Okay.
So there's 6 of those. They are the wonkiest, obviously. And you can only find them in dungeons
here's
or
one
while you're
potion.
playing the game.
I think it has some of the best art. I just love the snail shell. I think it's cute.
I was super happy when the art for these came back because the artist really delivered the strange feel that I was going. I
Yeah.
mean, there's some more standard ones like the Vigor Potion and like the Rabbit Foot Potion, but those unique ones, especially, they get really, great art. I think that invokes the fantasy of it.
Right. It makes you feel more like you're actually in that world,
Yeah,
being so unique and different from what we've done before. I think it's gorgeous. I love it.
So that's the 3 types, and you can bring at the start of the campaign. Again, you don't start with anything. You'll craft anything during the campaign that eventually you'll be able to bring on quests, and then if you start getting a lot of it, your limit is 3. So at the start of the quest, you can have 3 consumables that you bring with. Each player has 3.
Okay.
If you find any during play, you just add it. There's no limit during play.
Okay. Cool. So those are our consumables.
Yes. As Kara said, this is something you can fight over because you get 1 of each as you craft them. So again, you don't start with any, but as you're crafting these, you can start obviously 1 per hero at the start.
I
So
like sitting next to the small camera because I get to pick all my favorites.
yeah, you do.
Do you have a favorite armor?
No, go for it. I'm talking. I think I'm talking a bit more than you, so I'm glad you can get those cards
I
out.
think I'm just gonna go for the really
Yeah.
goth one. As an inner goth kid.
The Plate of the Bloodstone.
Plate of the Bloodstone.
All right. And, okay, so
This you can
I'm going
fight
to look
over.
at this armor.
Mm-hmm.
This is heavy armor, but it does not tell me who can use it.
Sure.
So that's anybody?
Our hero card.
Yeah, the
Never
bottom-
put away.
Ooh, hey.
Bottom of the hero card. I'll just pull one out again. Cyrus here.
Here, I'll get some.
You'll see at the bottom left.
Okay, so we'll just cover up the
Just
armor
tells
real
you
quickly.
the armor.
Okay, so Cyrus
Yep.
gets light armor, as it says down there.
Yep.
So the armor can't be used, heavy armor can't be used.
Correct. Yep.
By Cyrus.
And there's heavy, medium, light. So it's 3 categories. And then like Cyrus is limited to just light. Some have Chance, for example, is light and medium, so he has a wider selection. But you might do some fighting there, especially at the beginning. As
When
like
you
you
only
craft
have
your
a
first
couple
piece
of
and you're like, all right, which one of us really wants to survive, right? Who's gonna be the tankier? Who's gonna take the hits for us until we get some more armor?
And then in play, you get to be like, well, you're the one with armor, so
Yeah.
Right, yeah, so you
open
go
that
fight,
door
you go,
there.
go.
I do that.
Absolutely. Send the tank in first. That's the way you always do it, right?
Hopefully.
All right, cool. So we've got more armor pieces, lots of different
Lots of
armor
armor.
options for all classes. So now that we're done with that baggie,
Yeah.
what's next? And I'm going to take those sleeves out of there. We already talked about the sleeves.
I mean, we're in
Sleeves are
equipment
sleeves.
land, so I feel like we should just go all in on equipment.
Go for it.
Couple more armor pieces in here. Well, yeah, we'll do, or no, potions. We'll do a couple more trinkets.
Oh,
No,
You can
yeah.
talk about trinkets because
Okay.
they're really they're really,
my brainchild.
yeah, your
Sure.
invention, and they're so cool and so unique to this
Well, do you want to
game.
start with your weapons and then we can come to trinkets, or you want me to hit trinkets?
No, I already took them out.
You did say trinkets out loud. Everybody
Yeah, I
heard
said
you.
trinkets. Now everyone.
All right,
everyone-
yeah, I don't
now
know to
all
what
the-
extent these have been.
the
I know we've
streams.
talked about them probably a little bit, but trinkets are something we can only do with the app because they are all of their effects are managed for you. Yeah, no, they're managed for you in the app. So when they trigger, what exactly they do, and allow us to kind of hide some stuff behind the veil, where, like, for example, the lucky charm there at the bottom says also you're uniquely lucky, which you have no idea what that means, but we do. And so that's going to do something in the app sometimes, right? And you can search for it. It's a nice Easter egg type thing, put on a form. But there's lots of. Could you actually pull up the Wanderstone there on
Wonder
top as
stuff.
well?
Yeah.
This one, honestly, I could go through every one of them. I know I'm not going to, don't worry. But
We're only going through 2 of them.
yes, 2 of them. But just tapping into these areas of the app that, oh man, that you just couldn't do. I just love this card type because we could reimagine different sections of the app and really play with things in some cool ways. And you get to decide when you want to do that by bringing in their trinkets. So the Wanderer Stone is cool because each round there's this part of the round where there's where you get a discard of fatigue and you resolve some other tokens, right? And this changes that. It's going to add a new randomized choice that it displays in the app, so you can discard the fatigue or do this other cool thing. And so, if you want the additional options during play, you can bring the Wanderer Stone, see what they are, and then you're like, oh yeah, I love that, bring it in again, or go for a different trinket. So the trinkets just really play with the different systems in the app. I'm really happy with them.
Cool. And you mentioned something very important. And we also want to give people a little bit of discovery of their own, potentially. So we're actually going to stop unboxing because you mentioned these are very important, or the thing that makes these work is the app.
Sure.
Yeah.
We have an app. And that's one thing about this game that is, looking at everything that's in the box, this is only part of what we have to offer.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
The rest is all in the app. This is, from what I have seen just in digging into this a little bit, this is much deeper than anything we've ever done with any of our other app-based games or app-supported games that were playable before the app came out. This is pretty intense. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been 3 years of intense.
right. So, yes, while all of the stuff in the box is cool, that is only a part of what you're getting with this experience.
Yeah.
The rest is all based right here. Mm-hmm. So, if we are ready to go with the app, behind the scenes, cool, let's get started. So, what we're going to do is we are going to start a new campaign. So, you want to go ahead and click that button for us? When you start a new campaign, there is something that you need to do, and that is selecting a party name. We are going to give everybody watching 1 minute and 13 seconds, I'm not actually going to be counting that, to throw out what you think the best name is going to be. And then behind the scenes here, we're going to have somebody pick our 3 favorites from that group and then you guys are going to vote and tell us what our party name should be. So now we get to sit here for 1 minute and 13 seconds.
Throw out some good puns. I love puns.
Yes, be as punny as possible. One thing that we didn't do while you guys are picking the name is we didn't actually bust out any of the terrain. Let's do some of that really quick. So we have something that I alluded to a little bit earlier. We've got our easy terrain oven. We just put those in there, and
Easy terrain oven not included.
yeah, no, not included. That does not come. Is it 400 for 5 seconds or 500 for 4 seconds? I can't remember with this one.
368.
For how long? That's not something I have
until it feels right.
I mean, either way, it's
Believe in
probably
the
done by now.
Yeah,
Believe in
well,
the
I haven't
term
turned it
of the
on.
terrain.
Okay, good.
All right,
Don't want to
turning
burn
it on.
our terrain.
Turning it on. Is there a light? No, there's not. Okay, it's off. All right. So we've got some of our terrain just built itself for us. I mean, this, if you've been paying attention in the background, you might have already seen another version of this. But we've got terrain pieces out the wazoo, really. Everything from chests that you're going to be interacting with, wells that you can interact with. Can you interact with the trees too?
Yes.
I mean, you can interact with everything.
Yep.
Yeah, we've got it all. We've got, I mean, stairs. That's one thing that is just going to blow my mind when playing this game, because I haven't played a physical version of it yet. But just being 3D and being able to like go underneath things and like move around in this 3D space where I'm used to flat surfaces and line of sight being very different from what this is going to be because 3D. So yeah, we've got some amazing, really cool pieces. Again, you guys have probably seen the old versions of these if you watched the previous stream. They're super cool. And the final versions just feel so nice. So yeah, we've got terrain, and do we have a poll out there yet? No poll yet. So keep those names coming and really just stress everybody behind the camera out. Because we're not the only people here. We need to stress them out because I mean, we have a good level of stress being in front of the camera,
Oh yeah,
right?
it's very stressful.
It's their turn. Right.
Let's just apply pressure.
So the astute observer, again, might notice that some of these pieces of terrain have changed slightly. Like the well has had the most, I think, of a change than probably what was shown on our previous stream, because that was our initial beta copy.
Got it.
And so part of that process, a big part of that process for this product, because we have this 3D terrain, was verifying, did they go together well? Were the cuts good? Were things maybe were breaking off? You know, were the instructions good? Were they falling apart after frequent use? So this has all been given a good once. Well, I shouldn't say once through, right? Because we did that also before going to beta.
More than once over.
The terrain was play tested.
Yes,
It's a really good way of putting it.
So, for example, the well, right? We determined some things about the well that were just not holding it together well, and that were very hard to put together, which caused problems. So now, new version, it's a lot sturdier.
Yeah, it used to be round, but that structurally caused issues, and the square is just way more solid and easier to assemble.
Yeah,
which is really interesting.
I mean, clearly it was super easy to assemble after that meeting, and it
Yeah,
was
you
done.
just have the terrain of it, and then it's fine.
All right, so we've got about another 15, 20 seconds on our poll, probably, and then we will enter our party name. And it's going to be really, really fun to watch Kara
I'm trying to do it upside
trying
down.
to put everything in upside down.
I'm so like it's plugged in, and I'm just. What if I unplug it during the stream?
Oh no! Don't do that! Don't do that.
Yeah, that's why. I'd rather suffer upside down.
Okay,
Well, maybe.
we're good.
I'm very
All right.
gentle.
The winner is Descent into Madness.
Thank you. Descent into Madness.
Descent into Madness, and our runners up were Chance the Trapper and the Descenders Guild.
Shout out to Chance the
Yeah,
Trapper.
I do appreciate all of them, but we've got Descent into Madness.
I personally like Descent into Madness because I worked on Mansions of Madness too.
Oh.
And so I take this specifically as being for me.
Perfect.
Whether that's true or not, it's
I know.
fine.
I assumed it was, but I guess
Right?
maybe somebody on the stream knows that. Let's go with that.
Let's
I
go
assume
with
so.
I'm gonna hit embark now. We're going in.
Okay, we're going in. We're ready.
Quiz difficulty.
Oh,
this is
so
my
yes.
first time seeing- It's my first time seeing the difficulty screen. Like pretty.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, so quest difficulty, this is, again, unlike some of our other games, this is a lot more intense than other games. You do get to start out with an easy mode if you want an easy mode.
I love journey mode.
I mean, I like easy mode when I'm just invested in the story, but not for a game like this. I'm not going easy mode. What's that?
I love journey mode.
It's worth noting, since we're showing this, that you can change your difficulty during play as well.
Oh,
So if something's too
not
hard,
aware
too
of that.
easy, you can adjust it. This is just the starting during the intro.
Very cool. And as I believe we talked about in the last stream, you can have players drop in and out between
Correct.
different missions.
Yep.
So with that being the case, maybe, you're playing with somebody who's newer to games and you
Sure.
want to make it a little bit easier and
I could see that actually.
invite them to come back rather than have them have a terrible time getting slaughtered.
Yeah, grind them into dust the next time.
Right. So I guess because we can change it anytime, it doesn't matter what we pick. So let's just go with standard to start.
I'm sorry. It's also under construction when you're a designer, right? So
Right,
you don't always
right.
get to see it in the end.
Yep.
That was very. Bryn lit up and got colored in. It was very nice. It was a very good effect. You might have already seen
Made
it.
it very clear what you were selecting.
Yeah.
So yeah, then we've got a little lower screen and we can continue from there. And at this point, we are going to get into a little bit of the story. So we're going to be doing a little bit of narration. And then we've got some amazing voice actors on either side of me.
Trained and paid.
Yeah.
Not-
All right, so
not
what's
bad.
most epic narrator voice I can have? I should have learned how to read before this. That might have helped. A small caravan has made camp along the road through the hanging woods. One group of travelers sits apart from the rest. 4 figures stare into the flames of their campfire, each with their own thoughts. The fire crackles, the only sound in the summer night.
We've nearly made it, Indris. Tomorrow we'll be in Frostgate, and then we can send our letter to the Baroness.
All right, I'm scooting.
Yep, we've got cords and cables. All right.
So we did fight.
Oh,
Talk beforehand to. Yeah. All right. So if you can see the app right here, he just used the undo button. Be very amazed.
The what button?
The undo button!
And the amount of work that has and continues to go into that is notable. It's difficult, but it's there, so it's great. Does the bird even talk back? Ever talk back?
Ever.
She's a fire spirit. She doesn't talk exactly. It's more of an empathic connection. Why write to Baroness Adeline? Since the accident that bonded me and Indris, well, we have to more or less wander and look for opportunities to learn more magic. I'm hoping that Baroness Adeline will let me study her Ilarions, those majestic birds Forthin is so famous for. I think they might be magical too. What about the rest of you? What comes next once we reach Frostgate?
This is good. It doesn't matter.
Approved.
Very positive person.
It has to matter.
Silence reigns for a moment. I don't know if that was the same voice I did before.
Or I could just guess? How about we play a guessing game? Alright, Bryn. It's Bryn, right? Let's see. I think
What are the 2 options?
you were a hardened mercenary. You're a runaway princess fleeing an arranged marriage.
I mean,
Runaway princess.
yeah, you think Runaway Princess?
Runaway princess.
All right, let's go with Runaway Princess. I was going to go with Hardened Mercenary just because she looks tough.
Runaway princess.
All right, Runaway Princess.
You're a foreign princess who was engaged to a wicked, cruel, and much older man. In defiance of your parents' wishes, you fled, then took up a sword and now live as a wandering adventurer. So no one else might have to face a similar fate. You could not be more wrong. I was born in Forthin. Parents died years ago, which I guess means my aunt is my closest family. I left to study at the Citadel in Arcot and trained to be a marshal. The marshals were more or less wiped out by the Athuk, and now I'm headed home, one of the only survivors.
The Athuk are a scourge on us all.
I'm so sorry, Bryn. If you ever want to talk... Oh, no, it's me.
Oh, yep, it is still you. Sorry.
Galadin, you're next. I think you are writing a travelogue. You are hunting the White Heart. I picked last time.
What do you think?
Let's go with the first one.
Travelogue?
please. Yeah. I'm
All right.
interested to see where that goes.
Writing a travelogue.
You are traveling all over the world, writing a travelogue for well-to-do nobles in Dawnsmore or Lithlin.
Sure.
No.
Good response.
Well, what then? Did you lose someone to the Athuk too? Is that how you lost your hearing?
I lost my hearing in early adulthood, as is very common in my bloodline, and I don't care to answer any more questions. Reading everyone's lips by firelight is draining enough without dwelling on my past.
Gotta click again.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Oh,
think
sorry.
the-
It's still you.
Pester Varix if you want to learn more of our pasts. It's their turn next. Leave me out of this. Both my voices are the same. I apologize. I have one gruff, mean, doesn't want to play a long voice apparently.
Oh, much too late. Varix, I think you are searching for... You are traveling too.
Oh, wow. Searching for what? Traveling to what? I mean,
tell us.
we're searching.
You, right?
We're
Yeah.
searching. Oh, yep. Barracks.
You? Enough. My history is easy to guess. I did not tear my own wings to shreds.
Oh, poor guy.
The hybrid...
Ah, that's me.
Oops, sorry.
The hybrid drags one talon across the tattered mass of scars along one arm, all that remains of their wings.
As for who tore them and why, that information is private. I will not share it with chance-met traveling companions who happen to be escorting the same caravan.
The Dragon Lord who attacked Kel, did you have anything to do with...
The time when my kin served the Dragon Lords is long past. Some still do, but others have found a different path, a better path. I serve no dragon.
Let's focus on the caravan.
I saw lights through the trees, not far away. A guard tower?
One of the barony's watchtowers guarding the road north, yes. With them so close by, we should have an uneventful night.
The caravan settles down for the night, merchants and hostlers spreading out into the surrounding woods for privacy and comfort. Surely, with the watchtower close by, they will be safe. So now we select our heroes. This is where it gets real. So we need 2 to 4 people. We have 1, 2, 3, not 4. That's 2 to 4, so we're good. Who does everybody want to be?
Okay.
You said you didn't say you wanted to be the
I
tank.
did not pick Bryn first. What are you talking about?
Oh. Nathan, who are you gonna be?
I will be Cyrus.
I will be Varix.
All right.
Poor Galadin.
And we can change our minds before the next round.
Yeah.
If somebody else wants to play Bryn, I just love playing the tank. All right, so I guess that's Bryn.
Even if we are near a watchtower, we should set a watch, Bryn says. Any volunteers?
So as a group, we need to decide who's going to be on watch. Is it going to be Bryn, Cyrus, or Varix?
I mean, we chose a tank
Yeah, we did choose
to
a
go
tank.
first. That was the whole...
That's you,
We had the
All right.
as far as
All right.
I'm concerned.
Bryn.
I'll take first watch, says Bryn. Just like when I was training to be a marshal of the Citadel.
All right, so Bryn is on watch, and it's weird that I'm playing Bryn, but I'm not reading Bryn. But I shouldn't be reading Bryn because nobody wants that. At first, the night passes uneventfully, with Bryn watching over the others as they sleep. But of course, no great tale begins on a quiet night. Bryn spots movement in the shadows not far from the caravan. In the dark, shapes too sinister to be animals pass between trees and linger behind bushes. Something is not right. And we are going to leave you there. We are ready to start, so make sure that you join us for our next stream to actually see some gameplay. So we're super excited that you all joined us today. Thank you for the name of the party. We very much appreciate you being involved. And yeah, make sure that you follow us on all of our social medias. Those are going to be in the chat. So you can find those there. If you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, they will be down in the description below. Follow us there to see when our next video is going live. And we thank you all for joining us, and we'll talk to you next time.